Hi everyone, this is Dango from Rocky Valley server. In this video, we are going to talk about the tier list of characters in Langrisser Mobile, so that people can know better who should they invest in the future. The first part or the majority part of this video is going to be about Apex Arena, but later I will also talk a little bit about Ancient Call and Future Challenge. So the first part, Apex Arena, right now we have already have the summon nerf, and this nerf will be like a permanent nerf. Like using summon strategy to do turn manipulation is never going to happen again in global server. So this tier list will reflect basically the strategies after the summon nerf, which is going to be stealth team and tank push team and one-way win. So the first strategy is stealth team. So stealth strategy, they basically mainly use tank and healers, and they try to rush into the mid spot so that they block the road of the enemy. The enemy, they will not have enough spot in the middle. So most of the characters of your enemy will be killed in the poison area, and then you will finish off the enemy by killing the rest the left characters. Or if you're like player 2, then you just stay there for like 12 turns and then you auto win. So this is stealth strategy. Tank push strategy is a little bit different from stealth in that they don't really want to stall till the 12th turn. Their objective is more like to kill your tank, so that after they kill your tank, they can kill the other characters. So this is like tank push strategy, which is a little bit more aggressive compared to stealth strategy. And then we will also have one-way win strategy. So I call it one-way win is that this strategy is very, very aggressive. They will pick characters like Sakura, like Listel, like Leonhardt, like Olivia. These are characters with very, very high damage and characters with pretty good mobility. So and very high AoE range. And basically, they will try to set up a time to jump in. And when they jump in, all of the characters will hit you in one turn. And then they try to finish like 2 or 3 of the characters in your team. And after that, it will be an easier win for them. So this is basically the one-way win strategy. Players who use this strategy is very limited. In global server, in the higher rank, Apex Arena, only Zikama and Korean are using this strategy, but it is actually very, very strong, and it counters the stealth strategy a lot. So basically, this is a tier list that reflects like 3 of the strategy. So from the left to the right, the characters in the left fit more to the stealth team. In the middle is more like a tank push team, or can be used in either strategy. And then the right side is mainly focused on the one wave strategy. So if the moment they pick this tail, they probably will not have tank in this game. The moment they pick Sakura means that they want to counter like stall or like tank push team by just rush you. So this is like very clear. These characters are fitting different playstyle. So basically, land use, like if you want to play style team, you have to have land use. If you want to if you want to play tank push team, you have to either have land use or juggler. If you want to play a rush strategy, you probably need to have either Listel or Sakura. Without Listel and Sakura, it is basically not possible for you to rush or to do a one-way win. It is not possible without Listel or Sakura, because Listel usually is the first ban. So in this case, lot of the first pick is going to be Sakura. So some players, they ask me, they say they don't understand why Sakura is here, because Sakura first pick Sakura enables this strategy about like one-way win. Without Sakura and with Listel being banned, this strategy is not going to work at all. So this basically why Sakura is here in the S level, because although not as good as Listel, Sakura is still the key character for this one-way win strategy. So this is why Sakura is here. And basically for the S level, the characters like Richard and Liana fits very well in the stealth team. So one of the counter to stealth team is like they try to kill your tank. they would use like characters like Elven, or they would like hit you with a bunch of AoEs like Leonhardt, like with Varda, or yeah, like even with like Reinforce or like Shelfonio, yeah, and or even with Burn to heal block, or with Livni to heal block you. So those are counters to Stout Team. But Liana, who can summon Sky Archer, can fix this problem immediately. If you have like reverse healing from Sakura or Listiel, or just a heal block from Burn or Livni, Liana's like summoned Sky Archer can just dispel those debuff, and then Liana can heal. So this basically censored very well with a Stout Team. And also Ritual, like similar thing, Ritual can deal damage to weaken your team when like removing debuffs and heal the team at the same time. So basically, this is a very good character in Stout Team. But compared with Liana, Ritual is a slightly more aggressive that she can also be used in tank push strategy as well. With attack blessing, Ritual can still have tank kill ability. And yeah, Basil is just if you want to do Stout Team, you can also use Basil. If you want to do tank push team, you can use Basil as well, because Basil's like AoE can greatly reduce the ability of the enemy, and also Basil can sleep. So if you have like a certain turn, for example, your enemy triggers like breeze, and you are doing stall, you feel like you are in danger, then Basil can just come in and like sleep the enemy. So Basil is very important in both stall and tank push. And Clarett is actually not as level if you just think about stall and tank push, because Clarett needs Tierra's help to actually kill. But the reason that I put Clarett here is because if you are going to play a stall team and you are worried about like Listail and Sakura Rush and all these characters like Olivia or like Angelina or like Sigma or Leon, you're worried about these characters and your enemy is rushing you, they are not using the tank. Clarett is the best counter and easiest solution to this strategy. I have Clarett in my team, and you don't have a tank. I can still win this battle easily by like playing a like a stout team. I pick two tanks, I pick like some healers, and I pick Clarett. You cannot rush me easily. So this is why Clarett is here. Although she's not super good at killing tanks, or she's not really good in stout team as well. But basically, she is the solution for stout team to counter this one-way win strategy. So she's still S level character. And Yulia is just a better version of Elven. So in this tier list again, lots of characters they looks pretty strong, but they are ranked a little bit lower level. For example, Shelfonio is also pretty strong in Stout Team. Lambda is pretty strong in Stout Team as well, because Lambda can provide these additional like defense for the tanks, which is very nice. But the problem is that they all have like better characters to basically do similar thing. For example, if you want to like kill a tank, Yulia is just a better option, and basically Yulia can do most of the thing Elven can do, but Elven cannot do some of the thing Yulia can do. This is why Elven has to be A level and Yulia has to be S level. It's just Yulia is just a better option for Elven. And similarly, if you think about like Matthew or Vegas, who has like tank kill ability a little bit as well, but both characters have great limitations on which tank to kill, which tank they can kill. So this is why they are ranked even lower compared to Elven. So basically, yeah, lots of the strategy like follows these trends. If you think about mages, the best mage is going to be Richter, then followed by Shelfonio, and then Rini and Lamata. Lamata fits a little bit more of stout team. Rini fits a little bit more of tank push team. But they are both not as good as like Shelfonio or Richter. And then Lana basically and Livni are the two mages that is not very useful after, or not very useful, just not very good after the summon merge. You can still pick Lana, but it's just when you have much better options, like you have this amount of mage options in your team, you are not going to use Lana unless you don't have them built up. So Lana, although it's still okay, she's just and also Livni, who can apply heal block is still usable, but it's just like in this case, you just have too many better options in your box that you will never fit Lana or like Livni in your box if you are trying to be on top of Apex Arena. So this is why Livni and Lana is in level C here. Similar thing for like Silver Wolf. It is not like Silver Wolf is not useful. It's just like, for example, Deerheart performs better than Silver Wolf, and Omega and Zarita are performing better than Deerheart and Silver Wolf. So they just have this comparison that makes them like lower level. For example, if you compare the same thing goes from like Clarett and Luna, which are top level players, and then to Angelina, and then to like Varna and like Norm. So this is just basically the characters are like in higher level. They just have more functions, or they just perform slightly better than characters in like later tier list. Healers basically is the same thing. For Stout Team, it goes from Liana to like Chloe to Amanda. Because Liana can dispel and heal within the same turn, which is awesome. This is just the best like character for Stout Team. And like Chloe can remove a ton of debuff as well, but she cannot provide heal and debuff removal within the same turn. This is why she's ranked a little bit lower. Amanda in this case cannot be comparable to either of these two characters, so she's ranked even lower. So this is basically how this tier list works. I think a good way to build your box is definitely you should include all these SS level characters in your box. But then depends on how you want to play in Apex Arena. Depends on like who you are fighting against. You should actually have different characters in your box. It is not like just randomly pick all the SS and S level characters in your box may not necessarily result in the best result. You have to be clear if you want to play more Stout Team, if you want to play more like one-way win, or if if your like favorite strategy is tank push team. You have to think about what strategy you want to play, so that you should build your box accordingly. It is not very good to just pick all the higher tier characters in the end, and yeah, that is not going to work very well. And in the playoff season, especially because you know who are you fighting against, so you should definitely investigate your enemy, and figure out if this guy just play like stalk him like 24 hours like all the time stalk him, then maybe you can have both Sakura and Listel in your box. Although you don't use Sakura regularly, to counter this player, Sakura could be a very, very good choice. So in the playoff season, especially, you really have to think about which strategy you try to play before making the Apex Arena box. So this is what I want to say. And the other two characters that I ate them finally in the tier C are like Ladin and Gizlov. So the reason that I didn't list Gizlov at the beginning is because in global server we have no use key for now, and we don't know when Yu Yu Hakusho is going to come. If Yu Yu Hakusho is not coming in season 2, then there isn't really real reason to run Gizlov. Gizlov is basically without use key, his only role becomes to call faction buff. Like his summoned units has no real usage in Apex Arena Season 2. If you have a fully maxed Gizlov, maybe his summons can deal some damage. Yeah, it's just that the tanks are really buffed now. Like the Gizlov is not going to make significant amount of damage to both tank. So this is why Gizlov is ranked here. The reason that maybe in some special case you can still use him is because lots of the factions in Gizlov's faction can be pretty decent. Like I mean the characters. For example, Juggler and Zareta and Yulia are all in Gizlov's faction, and also Lamata is in Gizlov's faction. So if you have those characters picked, then for the fifth pick for Gizlov, that is not a terrible idea as well. So this is why Gizlov is still here, but it's just like Gizlov is not fitting any of this strategy. Like Gizlov himself is not going to help you really stall. It's not going to help you kill a tank. It's not going to help you like rush enemy. Like he's not fitting any of the style here. Gizlov in season 1, the summon strategy works well for him, and if we have Yusuke, then the summon strategy can work again. But summon strategy is just not very good for now. And leading can call faction buff to Elven and Yulia, which are pretty decent tank slayers. And leading himself is a tank. If you want to play aggressively, if you don't want to like first pick a tank, then maybe you can first pick, for example, Yulia, and then you can have leading available later. That may not work in like higher level PvP battle, but maybe that is not terrible in like slightly lower level PvP battle. This is why leading is here as well. So again, this tier list is based on my experience, and this is just specifically for global server. This is not comparable to the Chinese server. First, because in global server, we actually have more time to train the new training field, and the trainings in global server are generally stronger than people in Chinese server, and also the enchantment in global server are generally better than the players, in Chinese server. This is why when I try to make this tier list, I think about the differences between the global server and the Chinese server. This is why it looks slightly different compared to the Chinese server tier list. I do believe this is more accurate than the Chinese tier list for global server at least. For Japan server, like SEA server and Korean server, we will have to see what's the adjustment they made, like if they have Yu Yu Hakusho banner or not. So this is basically the tier list for global server only for now. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the PvE content. For example, the Asian call. So there isn't real reason to fight Asian call like till dies, to try to get top 4 for Asian call. The reason is not clear for now because basically if you get S level, then the enchants that you get are usually enough for you to build all the characters you want. So like really to rush for leaderboard becomes not very necessary. But still for a player who claim, my focus in Langrisser Mobile is PvE content, they still want to stay in high in leaderboard. So in order to stay in a high position in the leaderboard, I suggested you to build these characters: Lanfont, Clarett, and Leda, Altamuller, Austral, and Joshua and Luna. So I don't need to mention like how important Luna is. Lanfont is basically how you get very high point later in both like Nidhogg and also Sleipnir. And Clarett and Leda is basically a top choice for German. If you want to be really really competitive, like 2 months later or a month later, you should have them ready. And the Altmuller is basically needed, in a leaderboard for both Fenrir and also Sleipnir. And Austral is needed in the H&M. Also, Norm is needed in that boss as well. But I guess, in order to fight that boss, you basically need Norm. So I don't need to stress out I don't need to say more about how important Norm is. And also for German Gander and also Nidhogg, still Joshua is the top choice for you if you want to stay competitive. And then for challenge battle, I just recommend players to build Rennie, cause Rennie just makes all the tough challenge battle very very easy in most case. And then Yulia is very very good in challenge as well because she just don't die. And also Luna with Uller Ball, and also Flyer have like very great usage because she can provide this magic defense buff for the team. And if you are using like Uller's ball, then the straight range attack is very very awesome. So this is all about the tier list. Hopefully, this can help you decide a little bit about who should you build in the future. Again, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and also like this video. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time. Peace.